So the end of the year is around the corner, and with that I figured why not do a list of my favorite albums from this year. A lot of great albums came out this year, but it doesn't top 2024, which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest years of music ever. But there are some really great albums from this year that I've listened to and enjoyed, and so I figured that I, compile them all into one small list. But before that, I just want to do an honorable mention that didn't make the list. And that album, my friends, is Everything Is a Lot by Whale. Solid listen if you're a fan of hip-hop. Great production, and for this being my first Whale album, it's pretty decent. Although I wasn't too interested in the album when listening to it at first, but overall it's definitely a solid listen, and I would recommend it. So with that being said, I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. Also, I want to thank one of the TAs in my school for recommending me this album, and that's how I discovered it, so cool. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into my top 5 favorite albums from this year. Starting off with number 5, Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler, the Creator. Starting off strong here, we have a very fun and enjoyable album by Tyler here. A very different listen to his album that came out the previous year, Chromacopia, which in my opinion is his best album, but this album isn't too far off. Incredible production, and the whole album just has this summery vibe that is very reminiscent of early 2000s hip-hop. Ring 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 is such a great vibe. That's why I made a cover of it. Same with songs like Sucker Free and Don't You Worry Baby, all giving off a dancey summer vibe, which I could totally get behind. But other songs like Tell Me What It Is and Stop Playing With Me, while not on the same pedestal as the previously mentioned songs, they still hold their own, and they're very solid. Tell Me What It Is especially grew on me the more I listened to this album, as it's the only song in the album that has a sorta deeper meaning, reminiscent of his previous albums. My one main complaint about this album is that it's very short. At 28 minutes long, this is his shortest album to date. Well, if you don't count the Grinch soundtrack. But I do also think that there's some sort of charm to that, as it's short and sweet, and it's very familiar to a mixtape, which I like. So overall, very good stuff from Tyler, and this man never disappoints. 8 out of 10. Number 4, Let God Sort Him Out by Clips. I think it would be stupid if I didn't have this album on here. The best way I can describe this album is just pure hip-hop. Songs like the title track and Ace Trumpets is just pure rap and nothing more. And they're absolutely amazing. Let God Sort 'Em Out / Chandeliers is easily my favorite song off this album. The beat is absolutely incredible, and the beat switch is just perfect. And Nas's verse, easily the best feature on this album. He absolutely crushed it. On the topic of features, what a stacked feature list we have here. Kendrick Lamar, Nas, and Tyler, the Creator on the same album is a sentence I never thought I'd even consider saying, but here we are. Tyler's verse is amazing, Nas's verse, again, is incredible, and one of my favorite features from this year. Kendrick's lyricism is just phenomenal, and so captivating as well. Also, the production is absolutely spot on. The fact that Pharrell didn't get nominated for a Grammy in the producer category is wild to me. This production is so good, and again, it's just pure hip-hop, like, I don't know what else to say. Overall, an incredible listen, and for my first Clips album, it definitely made an impression. Again, we have another 8 out of 10. Number 3, The Pilot by Marvy. Maybe cheating with this pick since, it's a mixtape, but it's my video, my list, I make the rules. Marvy really didn't hold back on this mixtape, and it's very clear that he didn't. Taking a totally different direction from his previous albums such as Let the Sun Talk and Shadowbox, this mixtape is, again, pure hip-hop. Songs like Denise Murrell and Heavy Hand are just great, and Marvy's flow on Heavy Hand especially is one of my favorites off the mixtape. But without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite track on this mixtape is definitely 31 Days. Incredible flow, incredible beat, amazing chorus, simply an incredible performance from Marvy here, and this song is maybe a hot take, one of my favorite songs he's made. It is a short project, but his other projects have been pretty short, so I kind of expected that when going into it. Although this is his shortest project, so maybe missed potential for more songs, but with the quality of the project, I can't really complain. Also, we finally got another Marvy and Earl Sweatshirt song. Their first collaboration since 2019, they definitely didn't disappoint with this song. Overall, a great project and a pure vibe all the way through. 9 out of 10. Number 2. Oh boy, I know I said I like this album, but I'm still surprised that it's not at number 1. Where Is My Head by Rich Brian. Man, I have a lot to say about this album. First off, huge props to Brian for creating such a captivating listen and by far his best album. I discovered this album from my favorite music channel, What's the Buzz, and after listening to the songs like She and Bumpy Road, I knew I had to listen to this album immediately. And boy did it not disappoint. There's simply no bad songs on this album, it's just absolutely amazing. Songs like Butterfly and Jumpy are such vibes, with the latter being one of my favorite songs off of this album. By listening to the album, you can tell that it has some very heavy inspiration from Tyler, the Creator, with its production, but also small things like Brian's high-pitched vocals on songs like Little Ray of Light and Is It, which are reminiscent of Tyler's 2019 album Igor. But this album definitely stands on its own, and stands out in many ways. Time Zones is the best song on this album by a landslide. The longest song in the album, the production is amazing, and the main thing about this this song that I love so much is Brian's lyricism and flow. He's telling one major story in the lyrics, and hearing the story progress throughout the song is just so satisfying. And it's a prime example of what I like to call storytelling tracks. Storytelling tracks are, in my book, tracks that have the artist simply telling one coherent story throughout a long-winded instrumental with barely any backing vocals or anything else. Some of my favorite examples being Tyler, the Creator's Wilshire from his 2021 album Call Me If You Get Lost, and 2007 by Jid off of his 2022 album The Forever Story. This track is simply outstanding and one of my favorite songs from this year, if I'm fully honest. I'm not joking, since I listened to this album, I have had it in my rotation every day. There is not a day that goes by when I don't even listen to at least 3 songs off of this album or just the entire album itself. Truly an outstanding performance by Brian, such a masterpiece to listen to. Easy 10 out of 10. Now, this album was my favorite album of the year and I originally was going to put it at number 1, but after listening to another album, I had to put it in front of this one. Now, we have a bit of a peculiar situation here because instead of having one album here, we have 2. I really couldn't decide on which one was better, so I just decided to put both of them in the number 1 spot. So my first choice for the best album of this year is Sankofa by Red Veil. Man, this album is just something to behold. What a spectacular listen all throughout. The opening track, Time a Dream Deferred, is probably my favorite intro track of this year. The trumpets on this song and the song Mini-Me kind of remind me of Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly, especially the song for Free Interlude, which, intentional or not, is a great nod to Kendrick's best album. Like the album mentioned before, you can tell that this album has a lot of inspiration from Tyler, the Creator. In fact, this album and Where Is My Head have many similarities with its production style, the constant switching between rapping and singing, and even the second song on both albums sound quite similar with its style. And I'm not complaining. Lone Star is one of my favorite tracks off of this album. The loud drums combined with the harmonization and Red Veil's energetic rapping really gets me. Buzzbeater / Black Christmas especially grew on me the more I listened to the album. I liked the song at first, don't get me wrong, but after listening to it more, I slowly fell in love with it. The lead single Brown Sugar is also amazing. The chorus on Mini-Me is one of my favorites off the album. Pray For Me and the ending part of Glimpse of You. This album is just spectacular and an incredible listen through and through. I listened to this album after writing the script, and this album was so good I had to update the script and record this part a week or so after recording the original script. So yeah, that's how good this album is. Incredible album from Red Veil, absolutely a 10 out of 10. Now, the second choice I have for my best album of the year is Son of Spurgey by Daniel Caesar. Man, where do I even start? Not pun intended, but this album is genuinely heavenly. Now, I discovered Daniel Caesar through Tyler, the Creator, since he was featured on his 2024 album Chromacopia, and after listening to his performances, I was curious about his solo projects. With that, I listened to his 2017 album Freudian, and since then, I never looked back. The opening track, Rain Down, is incredible, especially the ending part with Sanford's vocals is just beautiful, and sets what you're going to experience in stone right off the bat. I really like the guitar and Call on Me. It's really captivating, and I don't know, I just love it. I can't choose a favorite song though, because they're all just so amazing. Root of All Evil is a great vibe, and it kind of gives off Steve Lacy vibes. That or I'm just crazy. Who Knows is such an immersive song. Have a Baby With Me is also a peaceful yet powerful song. The ending of Sins of the Father is just... it's great. Mood is beautiful. Baby Blue is amazing. This album is just, it's amazing. I don't know what else to say. It's just great. This is why I had such a tough pick between this and Sankofa, because they're both just absolutely incredible. So I have to put them here at my number 1 spot. Also, Anthony Fantano, you're stupid, you're disgusting, you're an op, you're bald, I hate you, 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 I hate you. And that, my guys, gals, and my non-binary pals, is my list of the top 5 best albums this year. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you agree or disagree with my choices? Let me know. And I might get into an argument with you. I was actually making this video about a month ago, but it was a list of my favorite albums I listened to during the year, not favorite albums to come out this year. And I figured it'd be easier to, work on a smaller video rather than that aforementioned list. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say, so I will see you all again next year when I inevitably make a part 2 of this video. Okay, so post-editing Kaya here. Sorry about my voice, I woke up like 20 minutes ago. Before I end the video, I just wanted to say that I have just started a brand new podcast that's on my second channel. The first episode is out now, so go watch that, please. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.